Boom, what's up? It's Dominic D'Angelo. It's a Wednesday. It's rumor and innuendo. You know what that means when it's a Wednesday. It's a little dynamite talking. Plus, going to talk about Raw since we weren't here yesterday. I actually, funny thing, a certain WWE Hall of Famer requested I did something, and I had to do it because I kind of forgot about it. So I wanted to make sure I got all that lined up. And so I had to postpone yesterday's episode. But I'm happy to be here with all of you. Good to see everybody. Let's say hi to some folks in the chat. After more, Wrestling Old Ed says, "Good after morning. All 32 years ago yesterday, Homer Simpson backed into the bushes for the first time. Was that a 30? That meme is 32. Not meme, but that part. Wow, I did not know that. I thought that was like a relatively new Simpsons episode. That's crazy." Kami Star says, "After morning, all." Tony Gong says 2 Mondays in a row with no show, and the masked men show up on Raw. That's not a coincidence. We had a show on Monday. We didn't have a show on Tuesday, Tony. We didn't have a show on Tuesday. Jeff Henninger. Hello, R&I. Made it just in time for some exciting music. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. And Legs Louie, also in the house. Happy Wednesday, Dom. Thanks for being here, my brother. It's good to be here with everybody, talking about some wrestling. I will give you my thoughts on Raw. I thought Raw was not good. I think this is a really lackluster WrestleMania, and the wins are out of my sails for it, to really be honest. There is not... The only thing I'm kind of intrigued by is Orton versus Cody. And that's greatly in part to Orton. If you'll remember, on Raw, Randy was set to have an interview with Michael Cole, and he was actually on the phone with somebody. Who is that mysterious person? He did note that wrestling has more than one royal family. So obviously you think of Orton. He's a third. Is he a third or fourth generation wrestler? I know his dad wrestled. I know his grandfather wrestled. Did his great-grandfather wrestle? That is a good question. But Randy's got a point on that one. And you think about other wrestling families who could be bending his ear, perhaps The Rock. You know, if you're thinking about what WWE is really needs to charge up WrestleMania and get a big person in there too to kind of get eyes on it, bring The Rock back. I mean, will help. I will say I liked Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Like Brock completely, like, from a facial perspective and physical perspective, selling for Oba was awesome. I think that's great. Now, am I disappointed so mashed together here with not a whole lot of time left, less than a month away now? Wow, at this point, yeah, we're less than a month away from WrestleMania. How about that? Starting off now. So, like, yeah, it's cool, but it's just like, I wish they would have laid the groundwork. Just more so, I don't understand. Maybe you're not going to get Brock all the time, but like build Oba up. The build for Oba has been, I wouldn't say it's horrible, but I wouldn't say it's great either. Like, I think the build for Oba, maybe if I'm going to give a letter grade, is like a B-, maybe a C+. Maybe a C+. Legs Louie also adds this. Well, before I do that, Jeff Hanninger mentions that Orton is a third generation, and hoping it's not The Rock, so it doesn't mess everything up again. Yeah. You know, I think The Rock, if you do include him, you want him to feel valuable, like, and you want it to make it impactful, not just like superficial kind of thing where he's just there. If you're going to do that, just don't do it. But I mean, you're going to want to get eyes on it and everything. But I think The Rock being a part of the storyline in a fascinating way, like kind of being that final boss for Cody still, I think is not a bad idea, you know. But, you know, if it connects the dots, if you somehow figure out a way to connect the dots with how all like WrestleMania and John Cena heel turn and everything got screwed up last time, then I'm for bringing The Rock back. But Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's something that they're gonna do, right? I mean, if you're trying to think of somebody else, like a royal family, somebody bending his ear to make him think otherwise, it's got to be The Rock, right? It's not going to be Austin. Austin could have showed up on Monday and he didn't, you know? And good for him. You know, the fact that and like WWE really understated the Austin 316 thing. They mentioned it and they had a sale for WrestleMania tickets. You can get your WrestleMania sale 31.6% off your tickets. Okay, that's great, but I mean, good for Austin for not just, hey, yeah, I'll come back, and be a part of this WrestleMania that has no good story, no thought process to it. Like the WWE is very messy right now. It's very messy. And Lex Louis actually adds to that too, saying, Dom, thoughts on Gunther on Raw? No Gunther on Raw when we're a month away from Mania. It's ludicrous. It's egregious. It's really bad. And I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't. And like, yeah, this is not how you build a WrestleMania. This is just crazy. For all of Vince McMahon's thoughts, specifically from a creative standpoint, let's say that, where he had a lot of faults. Obviously, he has a lot of faults outside of the wrestling ring, but from a creative perspective, Vince was always, I mean, like nearing the later years, he was very haphazard and unpredictable and stuff like that. But if you go back into the thick of like when, new generation, Hulk Hogan era to Attitude Era, to even after that, like you think about the build for Batista's babyface turn or John Cena getting brought to prominence, there was some thought that went into all this. Like, now this is like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Like Robert said before, and like we've used so many times on here, hitting the panic button. And then that panic button either A, not working, or they're panicking that the panic button isn't working. So it's just, it's has not been good. And this is another example of it. No Gunther on Raw. We had Dragon Lee taking on Penta. Penta cuts another promo. I just don't think, putting him in that light is the right manner to handle Penta. The thing too, this is not a slight at anybody, any name star that's trying to grow their personality or their star power. This is not a slight at anybody in WWE, but noticing that crowd in San Antonio, I watched, speaking of 316, I watched a clip of Austin do the infamous Steve Austin pop. If you know what I'm talking about, it's when the Invasion was all in the ring. So ECW, WCW, they're all attacking the Undertaker, Kane, Kurt Angle, and Jericho, I think, was there too. And they're all getting ganged up on by the Invasion. It's a really like, oh my gosh, kind of cool moment. But then Austin's music hits and out comes Stone Cold and the crowd is just going bananas. Absolutely crazy. I took note of that later on when I watched Brock Lesnar come out and Obafemi. Sorry, I accidentally put that up. And Obafemi comes out. Obafemi gets a great reaction. Do not get me wrong on that whatsoever. And I like Obafemi a lot. But I watch that crowd and it's just like you're hearing the cheers. You're not seeing the visual excitement of fans. Like you're not seeing anybody just jumping up and down and going crazy. It's a different time, but it really speaks to what you get with a massive, massive name and a big wrestling boom in Stone Cold Steve Austin to what you're getting currently today in pro wrestling. So this is not just a WWE thing, but it just really, really made me consider all that. You go back and watch that. I'm telling you, go back and watch that Steve Austin pop. See how crazy that crowd is going. And then make note next time you watch a WWE or even an AEW show for that matter about how that crowd physically reacts. Sure, you get the pop and somewhat of a big reaction, and Obafemi did. And it's not saying that maybe Oba will be that guy that gets that crowd back up on their feet and everything like that. But at this point in time, WWE has some work to do. Dre Owens has joined us. Thank you, Dre. Ran late, but made it for the Dynamite preview. Oh, we didn't even preview it yet. I'm excited for that. Tony Gong says, do they have enough matches for one night yet? That's a good point for WrestleMania. I mean, you got Stephanie and Liv, you got Cody and Orton, you got Roman and Punk. Did Finn and Dom get announced? No, that didn't get announced yet. Uh, is it Rhea? Rhea and Jade? Yeah, Rhea and Jade. So that what is that? 5? I think some other ones got announced, but yeah, I mean, and that's a shame. Like right now, yeah, I can't. I'm struggling to name the matches at WrestleMania. Struggling to name them. Jeff Henniger says for the build for Obafemi is a B- or C plus. Still passing grade. Still passing grade, absolutely. But definitely like it should be an A. Anytime you have a name star that you're certainly know is going to be a big star, there's no reason to not get an A- and or an A plus on this. On building this guy. There really isn't, because he should be your focus, right? He should be a primary focus for you as you head into WrestleMania. And you're not doing it. Oh, okay. Here, we'll dig through that. Got a couple more comments here. Wrestling Old Ed says maybe they revealed that Gunther was on the phone with Randy Orton, a royal family member of career killers. Not bad. But then where does that put Gunther? He's just gonna go after Ray, I guess. I guess you can make Cody and Ray kind of a fun little tandem as you build, but not a bad story idea, I would say. Oh, this is who Wrestling Old Ed suggests is Kevin Owens. I guess that would make a lot of sense too, right? Could make a lot of sense. Don't think it's the DiBiase's, Tony Gong. Dre Owens says, what if Orton turned heel because of The Rock promised him a shot at the title? It's not bad. It's like kind of lazy booking, right? But he didn't also he already earned that shot though. So he earned it at Elimination Chamber. So like he didn't need The Rock for that, you know. Eric Maroon says Gunther was very clearly headed towards a Rey Mysterio match at Mania, but then Rey got hurt. Was he at that point? It seemed like Rey got hurt, and then they were leading to a Gunther versus Rey match. Wrestling Old Ed says apparently Rey has bruised ribs, so Gunther's opponent is uncertain. Maybe they can bring AJ Styles back for one night. LOL. Man, what a mess. What a mess. Look, I understand you have injuries and you have to work around that. And, you know, that's the name of the game. That's the name of not just pro wrestling, but sports. But, like, the thing about pro wrestling is it is a controlled, for the most part, controlled element. You have the power to change things and shift things. So, do your due diligence of making something special for Gunther, somebody that retired AJ Styles, retired Goldberg, and hey, retired John Cena. Remember that guy? Wrestling Old Ed says, in all seriousness, if they can get Mysterio, just go with Ilya. If they can't get Mysterio, just go with Ilya and Dragunov. Yeah, but have they been building Ilya Dragunov that well? It's like from how it sounded is like not just Brock Lesnar is no selling his attacks, but other people are no selling his attacks. Is he looked at in a certain light in the locker room, or what's the deal with that? Because I love Dragunov. I was like, when he was going up against Lesnar and Lesnar was no selling him, I was like, give me that match at WrestleMania. I want Dragunov and I want Lesnar. That's what I want. Not getting that. Gunther would be good. I mean, Obafemi would be good. Kimmy Star says, in the panic of the panic button, they broke the button and now mass panic ensues. It's just people running around with their heads cut off. That's what it feels like. Devin Dowling says, Ayo, Robert must not be excited today. No, Robert has some work assignments to do, so he's excited for that. Comments went away here a second ago. Okay. Wrestling Old Ed says, we'll start with this one first. Don't forget Toxic Awesomeness versus Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce. Who is, oh my God. Who is it? Who's Rolls in that port? Why am I missing that? I know it's Royce Keys, but who's the other one? Oh, he clarified it for me. If I just freaking, oh yeah, freaking red. I just swore. Miz versus Kit versus Jelly Roll and Royce Keys. Kit and the Miz. All right, I can buy it. It's just anytime you pair somebody like the Miz is just like he's the guy. Like, hey, let's pair this person up with him. Let's pair Carmelo Hayes up with him. Let's pair Tommaso Ciampa up with him. It's just like let's throw this person with the Miz and then come up with a weird tag team name. Caspian, do you want to get a podcast with Johnny Ace? You stream always ends with future endeavors line he was famous for. Ooh, I definitely do not want to have a podcast with Johnny Ace. And you have to bring that up to Robert because he's the one that usually ends it with future endeavors. I just adopted it since he said it. So I'm throwing him under the bus. So you take that up with Robert Caspi, not me. I don't want to have I don't want to have a podcast with Johnny Ace. Blue Thunder Bomb. I thought Raw was great. I'm surprised you're so down on it. Obi segment, a Penta match, Bailey match, ending promo, all strong segments. Hey, wrestling subjective, so you're entitled to that thought. I thought that ending promo was awful. Just completely awful. It's the same old song and dance. Like, I'm the tribal chief. This is my ring. This is my company. And then it's just, paint by numbers. If you're like to do like, hey, if you were to type in AI, hey, cut a CM Punk and Roman Reigns promo for me. This is what you would get. Is just like, okay, they're playing like the greatest hits, but it's all, this is the ones that like, it does not all, it's just the laziness of it all. It did not feel what prompted Punk to punch Roman Reigns was Roman Reigns calling him old. That's what did it. This is not that that ending segment was not good. Not good. For a feud I was very excited for. For a match I was very excited for. Because I thought these guys were going to come up and, hey, maybe this is just obviously this is what they were told to say and what they're told to focus around. But I mean, like, these guys are great on the mic. And we're getting this half-cooked, stuck under a heat lamp kind of conversation back and forth of like, okay, yeah, you insulted my family and said said something that a babyface normally wouldn't say that upset me. And I'm just going to say like, yeah, Phil, you were working. And I'm just going to keep calling you by your government name. It's just lazy, half-assed, not thoroughly thought through storytelling. That segment was the worst I've seen yet. And it's a shame because I always think CM Punk is appointment television. When Roman's handled right, I think he can be appointment television too. But this is all recycled, rehashed, and we've seen this all before. There's nothing intriguing about it. And you're like, Roman and Punk on paper is a great main event, a match I initially gave the thumbs up for because I was like, okay, yeah, sure, maybe they are panicking or having to pivot here. They decided to go Roman and Punk instead of Roman and Cody. And Robert was not for that. But I thought Punk and Roman, you can make something really, really cool with this and make this feel like a big deal and really have it be like a big highlight match of your WrestleMania canon, so to speak. Like if you maybe this match could be something where you look back and be like, yeah, Punk and Roman was awesome. This build has not been good. It's just not. It's just lazy. It's flat out lazy. Tell me in the comments if you agree with me or if you agree with Blue Thunder Bomb. I just did not enjoy that. I did not enjoy that ending promo at all. Yeah, I did not think it was great. I don't think it was a great Raw. If I were to give that a letter grade, I'd give it probably like a D+. I don't know. Gunther versus Penta for the IC title. I don't know. It's just, I'm not interested. I'm not interested because you had an IC title match that I wanted to see in Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Like, you're not doing Penta any favors by putting the title on him before WrestleMania. If you were to, it's one thing if you had this happen a couple months earlier and then you had Penta just go on this reign as Intercontinental Champion and you were telling something really captivating with him instead of this, he's a poor kid from the streets and now he's in WWE and, you're giving him certain dragons to slay, pun not intended. But you're not. You didn't do that. You're having, and that's the other thing. You have this Penta match, and it's an open challenge. We're already getting open challenges on SmackDown with the United States Championship. There's nothing significant. I want a freaking story. I want a story, and you're not giving it to me on several levels. This is all okay. This is what we're doing. Okay, we got to go with Jade versus Rhea. We got to go Roman Punk. Okay, what are we gonna do with Cody now? Oh my gosh, Cody, Drew, no, Cody, Randy. Let's do Orton. Let's build something. All thrown together, all frustrating. There's an element where you can have an open challenge, and you have that with United States Championship. Why are you doing this with your Intercontinental Championship? It's lazy. It's lazy, my opinion. Tony Gong says Gunther's opponent will be AJ with the mask. Worst kept secret since Mr. America. I'd kind of be all right with that at this point. If you're throwing stuff together, just throw it. Here we go. What a tag team name this is. Wrestling Old Head throws it out here. Limp Mizkit. Yes. Fred Durst makes an appearance. Old Head. Yeah. Like Fred Durst. Oh, Devin Dowling says my interview with 2 Jagoffs was fun, by the way. Yes, I did an interview with Austin Carnes, one of my broadcast colleagues at the International Wrestling Cartel. This Saturday, March 21st, my degenerate brother Marcus will be in action. He'll be defending the high-stakes he'll be challenging for the high-stakes championship against Wes Barkley. I had some words for Marcus, actually, ahead of this. I said he needs to keep his ego in check if he wants to win that title. And, as the Angelos rightfully have, an ego. And Marcus needs to keep it in check if he wants to keep things in perspective. He's actually joining Austin Carnes today for a special recording too, so he might respond to me. I'm excited to hear what Marcus has to say. He's the next guest on 2 Jagoffs. If you want, let's see if I can bring this up. If you want, you can tune into that interview, YouTube, and check it out here. Hold on. Hopefully no sound goes off. We'll wait. Video. How dare I am not at the prominent front of this screen here. Okay. But yes, I think, but yeah, thank you. It was a fun interview to do. I actually give hopefully some good journalism advice. I thought that's what I should be doing, when I'm on a show like that. Hey, there we go. I'm live right there. Here, I'm posting the link to all this go to studio1sports.com right now, and you can check out this interview. I'll direct you to the link. The link is in the Studio One Sports chat. So check it out there. I just posted it. I don't know if that'll work. Oh my God, it didn't work. Whatever, Dominic. All right, thank you for the kind words. Either way. The Samoa Joe line also was kind of lazy, Devin, I thought. Okay, wow. We've seen that before too. We've seen that before in many different iterations. And like that was the walk away highlight of it. That's all I was seeing before I watched Raw was that clip or hearing, oh, Punk referenced Samoa Joe and that was the takeaway from a confrontation you're supposed to have before WrestleMania. That's supposed to feel like a big deal. That we're talking about. I'm all right with making those references, but if that's the big takeaway from a promo like that, that exchange could not have been good, and it wasn't. Tony Gong says back in the day they had to keep main eventers from killing each other. Now it's a victory to get your opponent. It's a victory to get your opponent to punch you. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna one up you with my words here. I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna get under your skin. It's just like have these two want to beat each other up and instead of like just these. I want a great exchange, but like give me some substance behind it. This is not substance. This is like put it in the microwave and eat it. Wrestling Oda said if Roman mentioned Punk's dog Larry and made Punk cry before punching Reigns, that segment would have still be talked about. All as personal as it would be, the conflict would be emotionally epic. Yeah, look, I mean, I think about how much Punk loves his dog, how much I love Razor over there. He's just sleeping. And just like, if you were to say something like that, that would really tug at your heartstrings. And like people will resonate relate to that. And then on top of it, you said if you get Roman to say something like heinous like that, like you're immediately gonna draw a line between babyface and heel. And that's what this really needs. There's just a lot of confusion on this end. And Roman came more across as a heel, I think, in this exchange than Punk did, for sure. But it still wasn't interesting because what they were saying didn't feel that impactful and that genuine, to be honest. It just felt like, or if it did felt genuine, it was like a little too true, like a little too true to the fact that, hey, Romans, you're not here all the time, so and you decide to show up this week, like that's true, that's true. And then like Punk already has referenced that he's old several times and that he's getting past the point in that. So to like highlight that even further, I don't think is a captivating hook for this feud. Like it's just like, okay, so we're getting old CM Punk versus super part-timer Roman Reigns. Not intriguing. Jeff Henninger, the part where Roman was going on about he heard about the part where Roman was going on about he heard about being a part-time and he should come with something new was good, but the old part was just out of place and kind of comical that it was even that was, well, yeah, it just felt super out of place. Like, who cares? Okay, you're old, whatever. I'm the champ. I kicked your ass. I'm kicking everybody's ass. I'm the champ, and I'm gonna beat you. That didn't seem like a line that like went too far, and now I have to hit you, or that would have got under a CM Punk skin. Wrestling Old Head says, one thing I noticed from Raw, they certainly stacked it, and that may or may not be attributed to the AEW Revolution fallout, which short term may not be must see, but long term. Long term. I don't know what that last word is or what you're trying to get at that one, but maybe like Raw did feel stacked, right? I mean, because I was surprised. I'm like, wow, we're getting Raquel Rodriguez versus Stephanie Vaquer. We're getting Natalia versus Maxine. Shouldn't this match been built? And that's another thing too. I'm all for making Natty feel like a strong, viable competitor in this Natty role, as she should be. But like, what are you doing with Maxine? I thought Maxine was somebody that we were all rooting for, that we were all gonna get behind, and that like was scrappy and had this interesting feud with Natty. She just tapped out. Oh, I see what you're saying. I needed. So he said could. Okay, so he was adding, and that may or may not be attributed to AEW Revolution fallout, which short term may not be must see, but long term could be great for both companies. Yeah, if WWE is, if AEW is making Raw consider what they're doing and be reactionary, I like that happening because yeah, then you are trying to up your game and be, but look, I mean, what they're doing wasn't that good. You know, you put it on a show, but the execution and what was behind it, the substance of it all was not that great. Dre Owens says, Penta do an open challenge and the challenger Ray Phoenix. Again, all for, that kind of match happening or whatever, and Penta and Ray Phoenix kind of aligning or something with one another, but give me a story to make it happen. Like, this is just, if you're just throwing this together, I'm not intrigued. Like, I'm actually disappointed because I was excited for a potential Randy versus Cody feud, but in the right manner of like, hey, let's make this mean something instead of like, oh my gosh, it's WrestleMania. We got to do something that will look good on a poster. So let's do Cody versus Randy. People recognize them. Let's do that. That's what this feels like more than, hey, Cody versus Randy have a history with one another. They were part of Legacy together. There's so much story that can be told between these two, and we're getting it all crunched together within a month. Jeff Henninger, Gunther going after the Intercontinental title is a step down for him. Yes. Maybe Sheamus comes back and Gunther retires him at WrestleMania. Feels also like a lazy throwaway move, but I mean, don't even have that. I mean, no offense to Sheamus, but come on. I mean, I don't know. It's just lazy. Not a lot of thought going into it by WWE here. Wrestling Old Head. It was like Roman edited Larry out and said old instead. If Roman said, "I'll put you next to your dumb dead," yeah, and Punk hit him, it'd make more sense, right? And you'd be like, "Yeah, Punk, you don't talk about Larry like that to Punk," you know. Uh, Wrestling Old Ed responds to Jeff Henniger. I didn't even think of that, but it makes a lot of sense actually. So I'm not that big of a fan of that, like Sheamus versus Gunther. I don't care. Caspian, there's not enough masked mystery wrestlers these days. They should book a loser gets unmasked match between two masked wrestlers for Mania. Well, are we getting that with El Grande Americano and the other Grande Americano? Who knows? Who knows? Um, Gunther versus Stone Cold. Stone Cold already tired and has nothing to lose. He stands up for Cena, AJ, and Goldberg. Also, Phil Rush at this point. Be one thing if, you know, Gunther comes out and gloats that he retired AJ Styles the Monday after Royal Rumble and the glass breaks and then comes Stone Cold. Boom, you have something there. But now, nah, no. And so Steve's not the person to be like, yeah, I'll come back with less than a month away of story. I think Steve wants something substantial for her to ever come back. And I don't even know. I know he's just on Busted Open, but I don't know if he said if he's done in the ring or not. And you know what? To Steve, if he was just done in the ring, like more power to him, because him ending it with Kevin Owens in the manner that they did was great. I couldn't ask. I wouldn't. What a no better send off you could get at that. At that decision to go there and do that kind of match and make it look successful and good. So Caspian says, I have no problem with Punk versus Roman as a concept. He says, if they didn't do Punk versus Roman, then everybody complains that it was so obvious. Why not do it? Then they do it, and everyone complains it's too obvious. Catch 22. I would have probably complained if it was Roman versus Cody, like Robert initially pitched and booked, because we've seen it already. I'm not that interested. Here, I thought Punk and Roman had a chance to be interesting, and it did. But now, what they did as a concept, it was great, like Caspian said. But as a matter of storytelling, it's been awful. Hasn't been awful, but it hasn't been great. Let's say that. Gee, I got to talk about Dynamite still. Jeez, I'm 30 minutes in. All right, let's talk about Dynamite. I didn't even look at the card yet, so let me bring it up. While I'm doing this, you can also check out the newest episode of One of a Kind with RVD. We recorded it on 316, so Rob and I talked about Steve Austin. But bigger yet, Rob had some special guests on there. Making their debut were Karma and Saba, his twin daughters, showed up on the show. Katie was there and brought them in, and Rob got to hold Saba the entire time, and it was very adorable. It was super cute, and it was just so neat to kind of just see Rob. He's talking about like wrestling and ECW, and here's Saba, just he's holding her as he did, and she's like looking around. And she was such a cool, calm baby, and it's neat. It's certainly a blessing for them, and I really do believe Sabu is watching over them, so it's pretty neat. Check it out. It's up on rvdtv.com now. All right, let's take a look at this Dynamite here. We have Will Ospreay making his return. He's going up against, oh boy, Blake Christian. All right. Should be a fun match. It's no offense to Blake Christian at all, but it's just like, we know what's happening here. And like AEW understands that. So, okay, you're getting a Will Ospreay return match. Cool. All right. Interested to see how he does. I'm just always now like, anytime with these guys, when it's a Will Ospreay or Bryan Danielson, Kenny to an extent, Darby even, I would think. I always in the back of my head have their injury plagues and their injury ailments and everything like that in the back of my head. And, because of all these dangerous spots that they do, and just kind of thinking like, man, their career is gonna get cut short at some point. It's unfortunate. I hope that's not the case. Will Ospreay is somebody that I wish he would, if I ever get to interview him, I will bring this up. Is to adjust his style now. He doesn't need to be doing all the same stuff that he does and meet those expectations. Like, to an extent, he should look at Bryan Danielson as a cautionary tale. Like, and not that, Bryan Danielson's, I mean, to a level, his career's been cut a little short, right? But like Bryan Danielson is somebody that like could still have matches and still do stuff if he adjusts his style. So I mean, I want that for Will Ospreay because he's shown that he's able to be a really, really great babyface and doesn't need to do all the bells and whistles of getting things done. Talking with RVD, he brought up a great story of what he learned from Tajiri. Rob learned from Tajiri. Tajiri once told Rob, "Shorter is better," and he's right. Like Rob was like, "No, man, you got to have a great match and all this kind of stuff." And Rob realized throughout the time is that shorter is better. And Tajiri, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and the less that you give them, the more they want. Also, speaking of more, we have a no holds barred match. Toni Storm taking on Marina Shafir. Will we get a Ronda Rousey appearance? Be interesting. Be interesting to see what they decide to do with that. So we got that on tap. We have Darby Allin versus Gabe Kidd in a coffin match. Ooh boy. All right. This feels like lack of build. I know they've been having tag team matches and stuff together, but shouldn't they? I don't know. I would like to see more of a build for Gabe Kidd. Try to heat him up a little bit more, and then have this match. I don't know. Maybe I'm like thinking too much about it, but I don't know. Devin Dowling does add that Blake Christian is a former GCW heavyweight champion. That is true. I don't know if I knew that. Actually, I did not know that. I didn't know he was a champion, heavyweight champ. I do know that at StarCast 5, they had GCW having one of their events in the same building that StarCast was going on at. And we were backstage in the green room for the roast to Ric Flair. And Marcus happened to be in the bathroom and saw Blake Christian all bloodied up and down, like after having like glass and stuff. And he's just like bloodied in the ring. And he's just kind of, I think Blake's like looking in the mirror or something like that. And Marcus was like, "Hey, man, you okay?" And like Blake Christian was like, "Yeah, I'm good." So, Wannabe says AEW needs a job squad. Sorry, an enhanced squad. Don't want to upset Dustin Rhodes. Wrestling Hold It says Griff Garrison just said, "Hold my beer." Man, what happened to Griff Garrison? Dre Owen says less is more, the motto of WPLE. I mean, to their point, I mean, like, not that their PLEs have been great because they really haven't, but I mean, the thought of it behind it all, less is more, I agree with. I mean, I'm all for like having 5 matches on a PLE, but if you have those 5 matches, make them good and make them intriguing. Like, I can't remember who said this, but AEW has been blowing WE out of the water when it comes to what they put on their pay-per-views. You are definitely, I mean, I know you're paying a higher price point for AEW shows and stuff like that, but even despite that, like they're definitely pay-per-views. You're getting more value for what your time is getting, to an extent, getting used better by watching AEW pay-per-view. I mean, granted, they're very long, so I mean, like, I'm not for the 4.5 hour shows, but like from what they put on there, I mean, you are getting more value for what you're doing. Yes, Devin sells it better than I could have. Top to bottom, AEW's pay-per-views are way better than WWE's PLEs. Yes, I agree. Now, if AEW were to adopt the shorter aspect of it all and maybe find a different way to price their pay-per-views, then that would be the ultimate. If you fuse them together, if you fuse both formats together, you could get a better show. Let's see if there's anything else on tap here for Dynamite. I'm just scrolling down their X account. That's all I'm really seeing, right? Am I missing anything in specific that I'm not? We'll see what MJF has to say. Um, I'm all for him still having the championship. Happy birthday to Brody King. He was born on St. Patrick's Day. Did not know that. Happy birthday to Samoa Joe. He was also born on St. Patrick's Day. Did not know that. All right. I guess that's going to do it. What a fun little show. Gave you some bang for your buck, hopefully, today. 40 minutes. Oh, yeah. Hopefully see Edge and Christian. Yeah. Yes. Dre Owens. If AEW cuts their match down count to 7 to 8 and have it be $25 across the board, they would be golden. Dre Owens nails it right there. Yes, you do. Caspian says, I can't sit through the endless 4-match PLEs WWE is doing. 4 matches, though. That's not bad, right? I mean, 5 matches. I mean, I'm not paying $30 again, like, and going through that ESPN rigmarole to watch a PLE. Like, sorry, I didn't do that for, don't think I did it. Did I do it for Royal Rumble? I can't remember. I might have watched Royal Rumble on delay. But anyways, I'm not doing that. All right. But what I will do is be back tomorrow to discuss AEW Dynamite, hopefully with Robert, as we do every Monday through Friday here on a plethora of channels. That includes Studio1Sports.com. Go to that channel. Hey, actually, I just did an interview upcoming with Ryan Nemeth. Me and Ryan, we talk about his comedy show upcoming at WrestleMania weekend. This is the first ever interview I've done with Ryan. So really good conversation. We talk about his comedic influences. A big aspect of it is us talking about teaming up with his brother, Nick, finally, after years of not doing it, and they finally get to do it. And one of his primary goals in wrestling, getting into wrestling, was to team with his brother. So pretty cool conversation there. We do talk a little bit about Iron Claw, talk a little bit about the Hardys, and some fun stuff there. So that should be up relatively. I'll try to get up on Friday, I think, is that show. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be on Studio1Sports.com. Also coming up, I believe we'll be airing Exodus Pro Wrestling this Saturday night. We'll be on Studio1Sports.com. So be on the lookout for that. Also, be sure to check out IWC 25, also going on at the same time. We will have Marcus, like I said, will be in action. Mark Madden will be there. Jerry Lynn will be in attendance as well. Should be a really fun show. I will be on commentary for that coming up. So more on that as we get to Friday. So, but as we get to Friday, I do want to thank you all for tuning in. Devin Dowling, Jeff Henninger, Dre Owens, Wrestling Old Head, Caspian, Cammy Star. Did I say? I said Dre Owens already. So yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. We should get excited. Let me just play that real quick because I do want everybody to be. I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm so excited. Boom. Get excited. I'm excited to talk to you, all of you, tomorrow here on Rumor and Innuendo. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And let's go Bucks, Pittsburgh Pirates. Okay.